Hey everyone, Casual Brews here with a quick Seahawks game recap. Sorry it's a little bit late. A few things to do the last couple days. I haven't got a chance to sit down and pump out my weekly recap videos yet, but for starters, yeah, the Seahawks game, 23-20 win for the Steelers in overtime over the Seahawks. Game honestly went a lot like how I expected it. Um, I figured Seahawks would play kind of a little bit above their pay grade a bit and try to win it for Geno, so to speak, and play hard, which they did. I just figured in the end, the Big Ben versus Geno factor, just a disparity there. Not that Big Ben's in his prime anymore, but he's still a competent quarterback, and I just thought he'd make one more play. The Steelers would come ahead, close game. That's why I predicted it to be within the 4.5 point spread, which it was. Not too surprised, honestly. I like the defense for the most part. I thought that was the best game the secondaries played by far, even though, Jamal Adams didn't exactly have a big bounce back game or anything. He seemed to always be right around the play right after it was over every time. Diggs played pretty well. I thought Reed had his best game by far because he's kind of looked a little bit shaky at times this year. He was really good. The kid Trey Brown also made a couple plays. I liked that draft pick when it happened. I think he's going to be a real solid piece, and I don't know what the status is on Sidney Jones, but I'm sure we'll see more of Trey Brown if Jones is indeed banged up. Some encouraging things. We would like to see them get a little more pressure on the quarterback. I don't think Big Ben was even sacked, let alone even hit once. Maybe towards the end they hit him. I don't know, but Pittsburgh does like to get the ball out fast. Run a quick offense, throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage a lot. So didn't really have a lot of time to get to him, but would have been nice to see them get a little more pressure on Big Ben. But with that being considered, the secondary played really well. I thought, without having much of a pass rush to hurry the throws more than they already were. Offense kind of as expected. I figured it would be kind of right around that 20, 23 points. I figured DK might have a big game. He was pretty good. Besides the blunder towards the end of the game, not stepping out of bounds rather, and fumbling. Got a lucky break there on that call, the right call, but the fact that didn't end the game right there was a blessing. Led to the tying field goal. I thought it was good to see, the fight in the team to get tied up and go into overtime, and then, kind of just back and forth, punt, and then obviously we all saw Geno get smoked by TJ Watt, fumbled. What can you do? Would have been tough. I don't think there was a lot of time left at that point. So that kind of sucked. You started to feel like they could win the game at that point when they got it to overtime and then got the ball back a second time. You started to think, okay, maybe this might happen, and then first play, fumble, game over. So the result was kind of how I expected it, but the process looked a little bit encouraging, dare I say. I mean, at 2-4 in the NFC, especially in the NFC West, granted, I don't think San Fran's going to really do much now with all their injuries. So you're looking at Cardinals, Rams, both playing really well. The NFC North, you got probably a wild card team there between Minnesota, Green Bay, and Chicago still could maybe hang in there. The playoffs are going to be a long shot at this point, but you never know if they can. Still got to play. I think the Texans and the Jaguars. Got a couple wins there. Hopefully, Excuse me. Anyway, So the season's not over, but you gotta manage expectations without Russ, and then if he comes back, will he be a little bit gun shy with his hand? I don't know. Could be a tough year, but there were some encouraging things I thought from the game, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And running too. They ran the ball down their throats a lot of the game. That was really encouraging. Alex Collins looks great. DJ Dallas, primarily in the return game, looks like he has hit an extra gear as well. So Carson, I think, obviously is out for another 3 weeks. There's some good signs there in the run game. Geno, tough way to lose the game on that fumble. No one's going to be more upset about it than him, obviously. And the team seems like they really wanted to win for him, too. Obviously, he seems like a great guy in the locker room. There's at least while he's been in Seattle. And yeah, there's some encouraging things. Pittsburgh's, I don't think as bad of a team as they've looked in some of their losses, and I don't think they're as good of a team as when they beat the Bills. So they're still a solid team. They'll still be maybe in the thick of it for at least a wild card spot in the AFC. So it was an encouraging win to an extent. Encouraging loss, sorry, to an extent. Yeah, if this is a good building block game, maybe they can steal a couple wins until Russ gets back, and then if they're like at least, what's he gonna miss, like another 3 games probably at least, so you can somehow win 2 of those games or win 2 out of 4. I don't know. Be still kind of in the hunt. Extra week this year, obviously. Extra game. Yeah, they're not totally out of it, but it'll be a long shot. They'll need to really catch lightning in a bottle and find some kind of motivation while Russ is out and get on a bit of a roll. Maybe you can carry that into when Russ does get back. But yeah, game kind of went how expected, but I'm still a little bit encouraged just from some of the things I saw. And yeah, that's about all I got for now. I got to get my full recap done and then my picks done within the next day here too. So for now, that's my Seahawks Week 6 game recap.